So we've got that little game between Alabama and Notre Dame. If you happen to pick up your USA Today, go to the back page. They break down every aspect of the game. They give, on the offensive line, Alabama the advantage. They say Alabama has the receiver edge as well. Alabama has the edge at quarterback, at running back, at special teams, at defensive backs, at coaching, and intangibles, and in linebackers. Oh, by the way, the one category they feel Notre Dame has the edge is on the defensive line. Well, Jesus. Why the hell are we playing the game tonight? Alabama's obviously the play, right? Yeah, and if they had broken down the Florida-Louisville game last week the same way, I bet you the Gators would have had the advantage in every single category as well. There's a reason we play their games, and that doesn't even get to the point that there's the point spread to be considered as well. A nice, solid 9.5-point favorite and your championship game. And I will tell you right now, what I will be telling you again a couple of weeks from now when the Super Bowl kicks off, this is just another game. Do not get lured into the hype. Do not get lured into the fact that it's a big game. You play this game according to your bankroll allocation rules and according to how much you like the game or the handicapper that you're following, how much he likes the game. Listen to me. This is just another 5-dime play. This is no bigger than or smaller than any 5-dime play I had in the Mid-American Conference on Tuesday in the month of October. It's just another game. That's how I look at it. And that's how you look at it as well. I think one problem that gamblers make is so often when a big game comes around, they unload on it. Why? The biggest games, the marquee games, often have the toughest lines to dissect, the toughest, sharpest lines, and they're the most difficult to win. Don't fall for the hype. I'll tell you which handicappers have the big plays tonight and which guys are hot. I'll also let you know if they have a consensus play as well so I can save you some money. And today's promotion is going to be the charity play of the week again. I won it last Monday. Let's see if we can win it again here tonight with tonight's charity selection. All that and more, plus a free pick on Cincinnati and Notre Dame in Big East College basketball coming up in just a moment. Two issues I want to talk about here. First of all, yesterday we had something interesting here at the site. When it comes to grading games, I've discussed it many, many times in the past, so I'm not going to beat a dead horse here. I always err on the side of caution. I probably call more games losses that should be wins to piss off handicappers here at the site because I bend over backwards to be fair. Yesterday, we had Craig Davis, who, like myself, like Shawn Michaels, has more teasers than anybody else, probably in this industry, and we all generally do exceptionally well with those teaser releases. Well, yesterday he had a 7-point teaser on Baltimore and Washington. Baltimore got the job done against Indy. Washington lost by 10 points. They were getting 10 points in the 7-point teaser. I immediately called it a push, guys, because listen, this is something which you've got to get through. I understand that 95% of you out there are playing through offshore books. I understand that those of you that are still playing through local bookmakers, some of you don't even realize that those bookmakers aren't really the old bookmakers you used to call up and get your lines from because they're really turning you over to an offshore book as well. If that's what you're doing and you're not in Vegas playing at local sports books, listen, you've got to make sure you're playing at the right sports book. And what makes a sports book right? One, are you going to get paid? Well, are you going to get paid in a reasonable amount of time if you win, okay? That's number one. Number two is, listen, if you're playing teasers, when you have a win and a push, that's got to be a no-action play. Screw your place if a win and a push results in a loss. Guys, there's a zillion sports books out there. You've got to find somebody else. There's a zillion bookmakers. You've got to find somebody else. Especially with the number of teasers that you will find at this site from guys like myself, Shawn Michaels, and Craig Davis. I mean, look at Shawn Michaels. What has he won? 30 of his last 41 teasers the past 2 years combined in all sports? Do you think that he plays someplace where you get screwed? There are a lot of smaller offshore sports books out there that will take advantage of you. And they will call yesterday's play a win and a push, a loss. That is ridiculous. Did you lose? Did Washington lose in a 7-point teaser yesterday? No, Washington was plus 10. They lost by 10. It was a push. Baltimore won. That should just be a walk-away play, guys. No action. So if you're at the wrong place, and I'm not going to sit here and recommend the sports book for you, but, God, you can't be that dumb. There's so many out there, guys. You got to look at the betting rules. You're looking for a sports book that's going to pay. You're looking for a sports book that's going to have competitive lines. You should always, and I've always maintained that you should have at least 2 to 3 sources, whether you're playing locally or you're playing online, or if you're here in Vegas. Listen, guys, you can go down to the South Point, which is off the strip. Steve Boudin once said it's like being in the witness protection program if you're down at the South Point. But you can go to the South Point and you'll find lines that are so different than you're going to find over at the Wynn. Okay, that's how it goes. And all it means is a 10-minute drive down the strip. You got to be able to shop, and you got to know what the rules are when you're playing at a particular sports book. So again, when it comes to teasers, I don't care where you're playing, but a two-team teaser, whether it's 6 or 7 points, a win and a push, has got to be a no-action wager. It cannot be a loss. The other thing, of course, yesterday, interesting weekend in the NFL playoffs. Yeah, the Minnesota Vikings, who, because their quarterback is not 100%, they realize they've got everything on the line. They're playing at Lambeau. They're taking on the Packers. They're seeking revenge after the Vikings beat them 6 days earlier at home. Christian Ponder's just not healthy. They don't start him. Can't throw the ball effectively. No power on his throws. Can't grip it because of the elbow injury suffered late in the win at home against the Packers a week earlier. So they go with Joe effing Webb. You know my feelings about Joe Webb yesterday. Yesterday, of course, you see the Washington Redskins go with RG3, who, listen, I had a 5-dime play on Washington yesterday. Anthony Redd had a big 50-dime play, number 6 in a row on Washington yesterday. We both lost that play. You saw it was a 14-0 late game, and then he tweaked his knee. Everybody's debating who's at fault here. Mike Shanahan, RG3. Listen, the blame can go everywhere. But you saw as well as I did that once he initially hurt the knee, he was not the same quarterback. If you're like me, you bet on the Redskins yesterday. You bet on the Redskins because it was predicated on Robert Griffin III not being the RG3 that was totally healthy, but at least being somewhat of a running threat. You take away his mobility. Is he a pocket passer? Come on, seriously? Is that why they drafted him number 2? Is that what made him a star and a Heisman winner at Baylor? Is that what made him such an overwhelming success here as a rookie? No, he's not a pocket passer. So what did you leave him in the game for? And that's the interesting dichotomy when it comes to these type of things. You know, from being a reporter, from being in locker rooms long enough, being around athletes have that warrior-like mentality. Nothing can stop us. You know, I think they all are shown the Willis Reed dragging his leg onto the court for Game 7 for the Knicks 100 years ago. That's the first thing they must be shown because that's the mentality that coaches and athletes have. You know, we are going to go at all costs. They don't think long term. They think short term. I don't know. Maybe part of the problem yesterday was Mike Shanahan was coaching for his legacy rather than just yesterday's game. Because in the big picture, were the Redskins going to win the Super Bowl? Come on, are you kidding me? I mean, maybe Shanahan, he was a genius when John Elway was quarterback and they won the 2 straight Super Bowls. And after Elway, left town and retired, he finished 91-69 in his final 7 or 8 seasons with the Broncos, but went 0-4 in the playoffs. And he certainly wasn't much of a genius when Rex Grossman was bouncing in and out of his starting lineup at quarterback, going 11-21 the first 2 years after the Redskins hired him. And he wasn't much of a genius early this season when they went 3-6 before the bye. Of course, he turned into a genius when RG3 just turned phenomenal and they won the final 7 games. So was Shanahan coaching yesterday for his legacy? Is that why they made such a bonehead play, risking perhaps the future of the franchise? I mean, I look at RG3 yesterday and I go, Jesus Christ, I hope this doesn't turn into Joe Namath Part 2. I was too young to see Namath at his prime, but you know how his career ended up. And you see so many other athletes that suffer an injury which they just never recover from. And you just hope that's not the case. But, hey, it's one of those things. But I just find it interesting. Vikings, Christian Ponder can't play. We're going with Joe effing Webb. Yesterday, RG3U draft Kirk Cousins, who leads you to a win a couple weeks earlier. You spend a first-round draft pick on him. Was it a first-round draft pick? I can't remember. Or was it a third-round draft pick? Anyway, you draft him to be your backup quarterback. He plays successfully this year, but you don't put him in until you have to practically cart RG3 off the field. Go figure. Okay, guys, let's talk about some of the hot handicappers here at the site. Craig Davis, listen. It's a push yesterday. That's how I say it is. Today, 100-time college football winner number 5 in a row. He is a perfect 4-0 with these releases so far this season. The most recent one, he gave a Texas A&M hammering Oklahoma on Friday night in the Cotton Bowl. Today, he looks to make it 5 for 5 this college football season with your Notre Dame Alabama side. The bottom line is $10 bettors have won $3,855 in all sports over the past 47 days. They have won $7,785 in the NFL since the end of last season. This play is bigger than his New Year's Day 75-dime bowl teaser winner on Wisconsin and Georgia. It is bigger than his 50-dime NFL teaser winner on Green Bay and the under on Saturday. It's bigger than his 4th straight Super Bowl winner on the Giants last February. 100-dime college football winner number 5 in a row. Scott Delaney, 10 of 13 winning days. $10 bettors have won $3,555. That's the short-term numbers. Long-term, $10 bettors have won $5,350 because he's won 25 of the last 38 days. Tonight, first ever 150-dime bowl release of his career. And it happens to be his 150-dime college football winner number 3 out of 4 overall this season. Now, he had 100-dime bowl winners last week on Oregon over Kansas State in the Fiesta Bowl on Thursday, Louisville and over in a teaser on Wednesday, Tulsa over Iowa State last Monday, Michigan State outright against TCU. This play is stronger. It is 3 times stronger than his 50-dime winner on Seattle yesterday. Anthony Redd. Yes, he lost with the Redskins yesterday. It was a 50-dime play. But today he's coming back with bowl winner number 10 out of 13 and number 5 in a row. 75-dime college football winner number 8 out of 9 and number 4 in a row. Your Alabama Notre Dame side. He's a perfect 3-0 with his 75-dime bowl releases. Most recent one, Texas A&M. Before that, Virginia Tech over Rutgers. And he had San Jose State over Bowling Green as well. Listen, guys, all 3 of those handicappers are on the same side tonight. Okay? All 3 are on the same side tonight. So I just wanted to give you the heads up. And I told you I would do this all throughout the bowl season. Try to save you some money, give you some type of consensus play as well. Matter of fact, just thought of something. Let me just check. As you know, Steve Budin is not at every single site. Okay? But let me just check here for you. Steve Budin, the Philadelphia Crew, has a 100-dime bowl game of the year. They've only had one other 100-dime play all season. It was Miami and Florida crushing South Florida back in November. They've got a 100-dime play, Alabama, Notre Dame. They are on the same side tonight as well. So there, I can't give you any more of a consensus than that. Let's talk about the charity play of the week selection. Remember, last Monday I happened to win that play for you, and I asked you to make donations to a family that needs some financial support for their 14-month-old daughter who was undergoing extensive chemo treatment because of a very rare disease. I just want to let you know, guys, I always follow back up and see how the family responds and what they write, and because I like to get updates on the kids. By the way, 2 days ago, the father wrote, over the last few days, a flood of support has come in from complete strangers, and Tiffany, his wife, and I are blown away. Thank you so much for your kindness and generosity. And thank you guys, because without you, it wouldn't have been possible. I just love the fact that, suddenly these people that have these fundraising sites, all of a sudden they see these hundreds of donations for thousands of dollars come pouring in, and they don't know where it happens. I almost feel bad after that initial surge is over because it disappears. But thank you again for making it a success. As you know, the Charity Play of the Week is something that I started last March. Once a week, I find a hot handicapper. I give you their play for free. If it wins, then I ask you to make a donation to my favorite charity or a charity of choice or a family that needs some type of financial assistance in a tough time. If the play wins, I ask you to make a donation. If it loses, nothing ventured, nothing gained, guys. That's how it rolls. It has been wildly successful. I've given out... now we're closing in on $1.2 million worth of action over the past 10 months, and I'm going to keep doing it. And today I am turning to handicapper Shawn Michaels for his first NBA release, I believe, of the entire season. Listen, yesterday and Saturday, Shawn cashed in with back-to-back 100-dime winners in the wild cards with Texans and the Ravens, making $10 bettors in college and pro football $10,865 over the past 3 years combined. And those 100-dime NFL releases now 29-11. Tonight, NBA Game of the Month, Portland, Orlando. It's his 50-dime winner, number 4 out of 5 over the past 3 months as well. If you were to buy that play, it would cost you $75, but you can get it for free by using this coupon code Sean75, Sean75, SEAN, and the number 75. No space between his first name and the number Sean75. Again, if you happen to be a newcomer to the site, guys, you have to create an account. You then go ahead and it'll take you like a minute to do so. Hit the Buy Now button on the site. It puts the play in your shopping cart. It costs $75. You use that coupon code Sean75, and that will save you. The total purchase price is $75. If the play wins tomorrow here on my site, I will then point you in the direction of the charity of my choice. And hopefully it wins. And thank you once again for Shawn Michaels for allowing me to give away that play. Your basketball selection tonight for your free pick, I'm going to turn to Cincinnati at home against Notre Dame. It's a bigger number than I would have liked at 4.5. I liked it a little more at 3 and 3.5 as it was last night. But I'll still go with 4.5. Note this game is going at 6:30 Eastern time, earlier start time because of the national championship game. This is a Cincinnati team that after starting the season with 12 consecutive wins, I think it was, they've now lost 2 of their last 3. They were upset at home by New Mexico last week. Then they rebounded with their Big East opener, winning at Pittsburgh last Monday, 70-61. But then just a horrific effort at home against St. John's the other day. They were a 13.5-point favorite. They lost that game 53-52. And listen, they were down by double digits with 8 minutes to go in that game. They were outscored in the paint 34-18. They committed 18 turnovers. They were out-rebounded. A team averaging 46 rebounds a game, number 2 in the nation, was out-rebounded 40-34 by St. John's. And they shot a season low 31.7% from the field. Their top scorer, Sean Kilpatrick, averaging close to 18 points a game, had just 7 points from 3 for 14 shooting against St. John's. He's shooting just 32.6%. The last 6 games, just 23% from three-point range in that stretch. But I'm still looking for Cincinnati to bounce back at home here against the Irish. Now listen, I know the Irish beat Kentucky early in the season. I know the Irish have reeled off 12 consecutive games. I know that they also beat up a mediocre Seton Hall squad, 93-74 in their Big East opener. But I also know that this is a team that has not tasted the road that often. It has really enjoyed playing in the comforts of South Bend. So one of the Irish teams may or may not win tonight. I don't think it's going to be this one, the basketball team, as I think they are going to go down here. They have lost 3 in a row at Cincinnati. 8 of the team's 9 Big East losses in regular season play the past 2 years have come outside of South Bend as well. They lost 71-55 last year when they opened the Big East season at Cincinnati, and here they are in their Big East road opener at Cincinnati. In this one, I think that they're a good team. They're a strong rebounding team, but I'm basically going with Cincinnati because I think the Bearcats just hit a little speed bump. I think they refocus. They rebound here literally and figuratively tonight with the win and cover. So Cincinnati is going to be your free pick. Good luck, guys, and I will catch you again on Tuesday.